Hey, welcome back to Dang Retro, and I just want to do a real quick chat, or maybe even a little bit of a rant on the future of physical games and just physical media as a whole. As you can see, I collect a lot of video games, and personally, I like having a physical game either on a disc or on a cartridge, just in case, something happens where all the internet is down or the stores shut down in the future, and you can just pop in your disc, pop up your cartridge, and play your games without, having to install anything or any of that, extra stuff. This isn't a stance on, why physical is better than digital, because I totally get why somebody would do digital media. I mean, it's super convenient. You don't have to get up. You don't have to change your disc out. You can just do it right from your controller. Just switch on over to a different game. Or, I play on the PlayStation Portal. Sometimes I wish I had more digital games because I'm not home, so I can't change my disc out. Also, with the rumors of the PlayStation 6 launching with a handheld alongside of it, I'm assuming that handheld, even if it's offline play, is going to require some sort of digital library. And obviously I want something like that, and that's going to be an all-digital platform. It's probably just going to use your PlayStation 4 and 5 digital library, which mine is mainly just made up of the monthly games that you get from PlayStation Plus. It's a little bit of a nostalgic thing too. That's why I like to collect the physical stuff. I mean, I like that feeling of just opening up a new game and popping in the disc, and nowadays you gotta it's gotta copy over. It takes a little bit of time with these games, upwards of 100 gigs per game. But I like that feeling of putting in a disc, pressing start, playing my game. It just does something to my mind. Also, you get to, if a game ever shuts down or is taken off the store, there's been a few games that are delisted from random digital shops, PS3, 4, 5, Switch, all that kind of stuff. Delist it, and if you have the disc, you can still play that game. But if you didn't purchase it on your console, or even in some cases where you did purchase it and then they remove it, you can't play that anymore. But if you have the disc, as long as it's not a live service game or something like Concord, you can still play that game. And I think that's kind of essential. I mean, you don't want these things to just disappear forever. I mean, look at some streaming services like Netflix. They barely do physical releases for a lot of their stuff, and if it doesn't perform super well, they take it off of the service, and no one can watch that show or movie or documentary or miniseries, whatever it is. It's gone. I mean, unless you have the disc, or unless you find other ways to download it and preserve it that way. But that's not really what this video is about. This is just me concerned with where physical media is heading, especially with the launch of the Switch 2. I think overall the Switch 2 is going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. Nintendo choice to do these game key cards after how successful physical media was on the Switch really just kind of boggled my mind. I would have expected something like that from maybe Xbox, maybe. A lot of their physical media is kind of partially on the disc, and that's a whole other conversation about Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. But Nintendo, I think, was selling 50-50 physical media and digital. So I don't know why they felt compelled to kind of really push it towards digital this time. I mean, with the virtual game cards, that they're kind of adding that element that physical had over digital, which letting your friends borrow a game. They're adding that to digital libraries from my understanding. Also, these game key cards that a lot of people are talking about right now. These game key cards I don't really see the point. It appears Nintendo is giving third-party developers and publishers 3 ways to put their game on a Nintendo platform. Digital, obviously. Everyone's going to do that. Everyone obviously is going to do digital. There's also code in the box, which we saw a little bit of on the Switch 1, especially towards the end of the life cycle, where it's just an empty case and a little voucher, and you just type that into the eShop. I don't really see the point of it, but the games that were doing it weren't really. It was a small percentage of games based off the entire Switch library. In addition to that, you can also do a cartridge like we're used to with the Switch. But then the Switch 2 did something. It added a new thing to this. The Switch 2 game key cards are basically a code in the box that you can resell. so it can be used more than once. It's my understanding, at least. But then when you want to play that game, you have to have the cartridge that has nothing on it besides a little voucher thing saying that you bought it in the console. So it's like a digital with extra steps, or a physical with less content. So I don't know, it's like an in-between of the two, and it's like a worse version of both. I don't know who this is for. Seems that Nintendo is offering third-party developers a game key card or a regular game cartridge, but the game cartridges seem to be pretty expensive because there's only 64 gigs is my understanding. That's kind of the rumor that's going around. You know, if a developer has a game that's 15 gigs, why would they want to spend for a 64 gig card when they could just do a game key card, and most of the people that are buying it aren't going to care? That's the unfortunate reality. Most people don't care. Which, yeah, the customer is always right, I suppose, but people that collect games or care about physical media, obviously that's a disappointment. It's a huge bummer. So I just really wanted to rant about where everything is going. I'm kind of worried that this might be the last generation of actual physical media. Maybe the PlayStation 6 will have a disc drive because the rumor is that it's backwards compatible. But will they be printing anything besides first-party games on a disc? Will third-party developers even care? I think we're going to get to a point where retailers aren't even selling games anymore, except maybe a few. I mean, this is anecdotal, but a lot of the retailers that I shop at, the Xbox section is basically, you got a Madden game, you got maybe Minecraft, and that's it. Like, that's their entire Xbox section. PlayStation is not much better. I mean, there's a few shelves, maybe a couple 4 feet sections. Nintendo still has pretty good real estate in these stores, with, you know, maybe an entire aisle full of games, but I just don't see that trend keeping up if everything is a game key card, because then maybe people will just realize they can just buy digital and it's the same damn thing. I do foresee a future where games kind of follow that trend that vinyl records kind of set, where it's more boutique retailers, whatever you call them, those limited runs, those VGPs, the PNP games, the Red Art games, strictly limited, all that kind of stuff. I could see those companies kind of thriving in this digital era, but then that's going to drive prices up. I mean, it's already like that. Physical media is already kind of more expensive than digital, unless you're getting used. But if there becomes no option for a regular retailer to carry a physical card or disc, it's gonna get more expensive. This video was a little bit all over the place, but basically, to sum it up, is the PlayStation 6 gonna have physical media? Is the Switch 2 gonna have physical media throughout the entire life cycle? Or are we gonna see these libraries getting smaller and smaller and the digital library kind of taking over? I will continue to buy, you know, the games that I want because I want to play games, but that will give me an awesome opportunity to start working on this backlog. I mean, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Look at that. That's not even all of them. PlayStation. I have too many games. Maybe it's good that I completely stop buying games and I can start knocking out this backlog. But long term, I would like to see some more companies kind of step up and say, hey, we're going to put the entire game on the disc, or we're going to put the entire game on the cartridge. But I guess we'll see. One resource that I think is really great that I want to give a shout out to is DoesPlayorg. Pretty much with any new game that comes out, you can go to DoesPlayorg and you'll see they'll list it if it requires internet to install the rest of the game, if it requires a day one patch, all this kind of stuff. And right now, in the year 2025, I think it's close to 90% of games are good right out of the cartridge, right out of this disc, right out of the case. You pop it in your console, you press play. Well, that's a copy over, but that's different than downloading. But, you know, 90% of games are playable right out of the box. There's this whole myth that every disc is just a little voucher anyway, so why bother buying physical? But that's just not the case. With some games, it certainly is the case. With the Switch 2 game key cards, that's basically the case. But we will see as the Switch 2 comes out, as more games are launching there, we will see how companies and developers and everybody involved, how they want to go forward with the Switch 2. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Sorry it was a little bit of a rant, but it's just something I do care about and I want to hear other people's thoughts on. I want this to be a conversation. So leave a comment below letting me know where you see physical media going, if you think it's going away completely, if you think this whole thing is overblown. I'm not trying to like fearmonger or anything like that. I'm just spewing my thoughts and just seeing what sticks. Also, I kind of took a break from making videos for a little bit because I was working overnight, but I'm back to regular schedule at work. And I treated myself with a PS5 Pro and an OLED TV, so I am ready to game. I'm fully back, and we will have more videos coming, and we will have more content every week. I don't want to make any promises that I can't keep, but in all seriousness, I want to keep working on content and videos. I got a couple ideas I want to get out, and just subscribe if you want to see more, and appreciate you watching. Peace.